Ladies and gentlemen, if I could have your attention, please. I'd like to introduce the matron of honor, Miss Christy Safford.
Is this thing on? Yeah. Can you guys hear me? Can everyone hear me? Closer? Is that better? Cool. Okay. Oh, I'm so excited for this. And I'm going to read off the paper. I heard Alejandro memorized his, so now I'm the slacker. Closer? Is that better? Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. I was just saying that I'm the slacker because I heard Alejandro has memorized his speech. So that was a lot of pressure this morning when I found out that small detail. But I'm going to read off this piece of paper pretty much. So hey, everyone. It's great to see you all. For those of you who don't know me, I am Christy, and I am Amy's oldest sister. I'm the oldest of the 4 Olinger girls. And thank you all for being here and traveling from across the entire country, the world, wherever you came from. And I hope that this Toledo weather on a nice summer day is much more comfortable than some of the Texas heat for a lot of you guys. So first of all, congratulations to the newlyweds. You both look amazing. And of course, you're smiling like you're always smiling. And Amy's dimple is just staring at me right in the face. Hopefully you guys all keep smiling. And if for any reason you stop at any point, or you stop smiling at any point, feel free to just like take the microphone out of my hand, because like I won't be offended. I know that out of all of us, I'm the dumbest academically. So if this speech just does not meet your expectations, I'll stop at any point. All right, so Amy first. Amy, Ames, Amester, Woda May May, Mimi, Ernest T. Bass, Lotion Sister, Sparkle Sister, Lip Gloss Sister, or as I like to call you most often, A-Friends. But it's more like A-Friends. I'll talk about you first. You were my best friend kind of by default at a young age, since we shared a bedroom and we seemed to never know if we wanted bunk beds, regular beds, or lofted beds. Each of these setups provided a new landscape for you to start using your imagination, keep your imaginary friends entertained, and come up with creative ways to have conversations past bedtime without getting caught. Meanwhile, I just sat there and dreamed to be as creative as you someday. It's crazy to think that now we've primarily lived outside of that bedroom in different areas for 8 years, but that hasn't changed a thing. I am so grateful that our friendship and our sisterhood is no longer by default. In the speech that you gave at my wedding, you mentioned that I usually set the standards being the oldest sister. I tried to set the bar pretty high in every way imaginable, but somehow you managed to surpass every single bar I set. I was in the top decile of the class. You were the salutatorian. I didn't get into Boston College. You did. I got involved primarily through athletics, but you somehow managed to do athletics, pastoral core team, student government, and like 2 million other things. You also crushed me on the ACT. I love seeing you succeed in so many ways. You also help set expectations and were an amazing role model for Sarah and Megan too. We are all blessed to have a sister who always pushed us to strive for the best and never settle. So now for a little more details about Amy's past that are not so serious. For those of you who don't know Amy as well, she was always the funny, goofy one when we were growing up. We could always count on her for a good laugh or just a fun, awkward moment. I distinctly remember my dad giving me the "my daughter is crazy but absolutely awesome" look, or my mom saying she's in her own little world on so many occasions. Amy has her goofy dance moves, fun singing moments, Tiger Gatorade commercials, and we all love a good old classic game of Amy Bowling. For those of you who don't know what Amy Bowling is, I highly recommend if Amy and Andres come to visit you to make sure your visit includes a game of Amy Bowling. This usually includes bowling while laying on the ground, backwards, between the legs, behind the back, flossing, throwing the ball after you floss, or whatever else she can come up with in the 5 seconds before her next turn. Amy always adds an extra spice to things like this, which makes her an even more enjoyable person to be around. Andres, I hope that's one of the many things that you love about her. She makes the most of every experience and likes to make things fun. She always had the best costumes. She was Elf for the Christmas videos at Notre Dame Academy, literally wearing my mother's green bathrobe. She sang Hamilton songs dressed as King George with a broomstick at the farmhouse. But perhaps one of our favorite costumes of Amy's were the ones lots of you have seen pictures of recently, her bride costumes. We all knew how badly she wanted to be married, considering how many times she chose to be a bride for Halloween or during dress up in the basement. And the trend of you wanting to be a bride clearly did not stop as you got older either. As just a few months ago, I was sent a video of you literally wearing the white curtains from mom and dad's living room with the caption, "Andres ain't ready for this." Well, today, your beautiful white dress is real. You are a real bride, and most importantly, Andres is ready. Andres, or more recently, On Friends. The first time I met you, it was the first full day of my engagement. Little did I know, you would be the one calling me one day to tell me you planned to be engaged to my sister. I'm extremely sorry that I had no advice when it came to the ring size, the ring style, or even the color. I really liked you that first weekend in Boston. To be honest, though, not sure why I liked you so much, considering your strong obsession with Duke basketball. If you don't remember that first weekend, you instantly ganged up with Eric as you screamed and cried directly at the TV for Zion Williamson, RJ Barrett, and Coach K to beat UNC. I will never forget you kneeling on the living room floor in the North End apartment begging for Duke to not lose to UNC one more time that year. On a more serious note, Andres, you bring so much happiness to Amy and our family. My dad is happy to have another son. Our family is happy to now be so close to such loving and welcoming family. You make Amy so happy. I could tell instantly by the way she talked about you in Australia when she gave me that first phone call. For the both of you, the only real marriage advice I have is to keep doing what makes you happy as a couple. Keep God in your relationship. Keep singing your favorite musical songs together. Keep going to shows together. Although I would highly recommend if Amy has any type of surgery and her face is swollen like a chipmunk, to request she stay home rather than bring a lunchbox with ice packs and medicine into the theater, because she did that. Keep going on your little adventurous trips. Keep going to the cat cafe as long as you keep your love stronger than your growing love for cats, Andres. Keep thinking about how many kids you want and beating Eric and I to be the first to make mom and dad grandparents. Keep having game nights, keep having date nights, keep being each other's strongest rock, and keep making the most of every minute you have together. Amy and Andres, I wish you a lifetime of love and happiness. May God bless each of you, your marriage, and your future family. So if we can all raise our glass. A toast to the groom, to the groom, to the groom, to the bride, to the bride, to the bride. From your sister, not Angelica, but Christina. Cheers, guys. Cheers. Cheers.
Hello, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I am Alejandro, the brother of this dashing young man right here, and the brother-in-law, for the first time, Amy Ollinger. Thank you, everybody, for coming today. I want to thank my parents yesterday for hosting us at a beautiful night. Dad, I know you did all the work on this one, but Mom, I'm going to give you credit this time. It was beautiful. You did not disappoint. And to the Ollingers, thank you so much for hosting us today. This is a beautiful room filled with very, very close friends and family, and we couldn't be happier to be here together celebrating. For those of you who flew in from out of town, thank you for making the journey in these very, very tough times, unpredictable times. And a special thank you to Father Bravo. I have known you since my freshman year of high school in Spanish 1, and I know my Spanish has never been perfect, but I'm pretty sure I'm the only Puerto Rican to have ever started in Spanish 1. So thank you for all the lessons. But since then, you've been with us to retreats. We went to Nicaragua together. You married Gabby and Matthew. You married Adriana and me. You married Amy and Andres. You were at Titi Sonia's funeral, and most recently at Abuelo's funeral. May they rest in peace. You have been a blessing in our life, and we couldn't be happier for you to be a part of this. So one quick thing. Where's Cole? I know you like fast facts. Do you know what Andres was going to be named before they picked the name Andres? Victor. That's it. That's your fast fact. All right. So to paint a picture of what we're dealing with here, a little bit of a flavor of Andres, who he is. Imagine a Greek god, laying on a chase, reclined back with the wind in his hair, and somebody's kind of fanning him with some leaves. And then he extends an arm and says, uvas, asking for grapes. And someone brings him some grapes. Now, part of that story is actually true. But I don't want you to think he's really spoiled. He's just a little spoiled. At least he's the good kind of spoiled that went to one of the tougher schools in Houston, graduated summa cum laude, then went to Duke University, graduated mechanical engineering in 4 years, no small feat, studied abroad, won 2 national championships in Frisbee in Australia. 2. Got a job at Abbott right out of college, and of course, married Amy. And I think looking back at all your accomplishments, you will find that the most important accomplishment of your life to date was today marrying Amy. So we are very happy for you both. Amy, I'm pretty sure we all learned last night that I met you at Breckenridge. That happened. And although my first comment was also going to be I was so impressed by how comfortable you were with my family. You were sitting in the middle of the couch, squished between everybody there. You were in the kitchen cooking spaghetti. You were also playing werewolf on the bench for hours. You were always so comfortable. But what struck me the most was the friendship that you had between each other. And this was a new relationship, guys. They were such good friends from the beginning. And they say that the best partners make the best friends, and the best friends make the best partners. And you guys are lucky that you are both best friends and best partners. So again, congratulations. Some brief advice for you two. We've got 4 years of experience, and that's about it. But I'll do what I can. 1, be very intentional in the things that you do. I hope you didn't get married today because you were supposed to get married. Don't do things for the sake of doing things. Do things because they mean something to you. I hope you got married because it means infinite commitment or a deeper level of love that you couldn't express any other way. And continue to do things that way. In 1 year, when it's your anniversary, and Andres is running home, and he stops at Kroger to get flowers, don't forget. Make sure you don't just pick any flowers. Find out what her favorite flower is and pick the best of those. It makes the world of difference. Okay? And the second thing is don't forget where you came from. All right, we are blessed to be among some amazing family here, and there are a lot of successful marriages that you can learn from. Learn from them all. There are mistakes and there are successes. And stay close. Travel, connect, and stay in contact with our family. Where there are traditions, pass them down. And in the absence thereof, create your own. Okay? So on that note, I want to say a brief toast to a lifelong journey of happy memories. Cheers. Think your dad's up now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good job. Watch the cord, Dad. Watch out for the cord.
Hold on. Yep, thank you. How did you hold the paper?
I just
Do the microphone at the same time.
down, grab the glass, and did the last line.
Okay. All right.
You can stand in between them. Which way are you going? I need to know where to move.
Okay.
Gosh, I just put the chair on my wrist.
Okay.
I have to hold the mic. You have to hold the mic.
Right here. Is this good? 2 down, 2 to go. All right. Thank you all for being here. I am the father of the bride, Martin Olinger, and my lovely wife, Lisa Olinger, here, and we're going to get to thank yous in just a minute. Thank you. What an unbelievable day. What a beautiful day. And so whoever was in charge of the praying for the weather, gold star to you. And wow, you couldn't have done any better. This has to be, I think, probably the most beautiful day, weather-wise, of course, and that we've had this summer, but really the most beautiful day in a much more meaningful way. But to be out here on the bay, approaching sunset, maybe we can get these blinds up in a little bit, enjoying the wonder, the gift of God's creation, as we celebrate God's joining of Amy and Andres is truly a gift. And tonight and last night we heard from Father Bravo and from Father Casey about the gift of these families, the gifts of Amy and Andres, and they are right on. So good evening and welcome, everyone. I did want to mention, if you are here for Barefoot at the Beach, you're in the wrong place. We're glad to have you, though. That's fine. That's a big fundraiser that's over on the beach here for the Boys and Girls Club of Toledo. But yeah, if you're here for that, first you should be barefoot, and later when dancing, if you want to be barefoot, that's fine. Second, you should be over there on the other side of the marina. Having said that, if you would still like to make a donation instead to the Amy and Andres Honeymoon Club, please see me before you leave. We'd be glad to accommodate that. Seriously, though, yeah, there is a Barefoot at the Beach huge fundraiser right here on the beach, and so I was going to claim that we had ordered in fireworks for your reception, but when they're supposed to be, there are fireworks later tonight for you all. Well, it's, Barefoot at the Beach, but we all get to enjoy them. So we should have a really nice view of fireworks later to celebrate this great day. Now, there's just, I think there's one place to start here with thank yous for the toast, and that is in expressing my thanks and my gratitude, and it won't be enough, but I'm going to try, as I've tried before, to my beautiful bride of more than 28 years, Lisa. And, I was going to say that you all don't even know the half of what she's done to put this evening together, but I guess I probably don't know the half of what she's done. I keep saying, is there some way I can help? And she's just got it all humming. It's unbelievable. So, Lisa, a very sincere and heartfelt thank you. Thank you, thank you. I love you for everything you've done. Not just tonight, but 28 plus years. I didn't have this in the script, but Lisa and I were married, yes, more than 28 years ago at Jesu. And our reception was right here. And the best man from our wedding is here, and Michelle was the maid of honor. Maid of honor is here. We've all at the same table right here. It's been so much fun. So okay, let's keep moving here. More thank yous. Although this, and I'll try to stay on script now. Although this toast is really for the wedding couple, Andres, Amy, there's no way I can do this and not mention the Nazario family. And I thought, and we're going to come back to the Nazarios over and over, where do I even begin? And then it hit me. It's actually really easy. I'll start with the one family member who is clearly, hands down, Andres' favorite Nazario of all, Shipley. So, okay, so I don't want to start any controversy here. Shipley is the Nazario's golden sheepadoodle, who admittedly is quite cute. Now, not nearly quite as cute as Lucy or Annie Grace, who are the Nazario's grandchildren, or for that matter, Andres, when he is trying to sing the harmony line to Waving Through a Window from Dear Evan Hansen, but still cute. By the way, anyone that's interested in a good story, but I can't share it here, don't have time for it, ask our daughter Sarah how Shipley got to Houston. That is funny. All right, seriously, there is no way I can do justice here in a single toast to all of the Nazario family and how incredible they have been. So I'm just going to have to say thank you, Nazarios. Thank you, Ricardo, Joanne, Alejandro, Adriana, Gabby, and Matthew, and all of the Nazario extended family. Thank you. The way you took Amy in from the very beginning and then opened your family and your home to us and with such incredible love and hospitality has been truly nothing short of amazing. Lisa and I have always stressed the importance of faith and family, and we have tried our best to live that out every day the best we can. Well, it's clear Andres was raised in a home with those very same values, and we are so blessed that Amy has found someone that shares those values. A quick thank you, talking about back to the gift. And last night, for those of you that were able to join for the rehearsal dinner, it was just unbelievable. And so I do want to say thank you again here for an amazing evening. It truly was special. I don't know how to describe it other than this incredible outpouring of love. Everybody that got up and spoke. It was incredible. It was heartwarming. It was just everything that you would expect. And the Nazario family, thank you so much. A big thank you to Father Bravo and Father Casey, who traveled here to celebrate Amy and Andres' wedding mass with all of us today. Clearly, these two priests have had been a very significant influence in their lives, and we're so grateful that they could join us for this special occasion. So, all right, I think it's time to talk about pretty soon here, Amy and Andres. All right, but I do want to say thank you for everybody here that has come here this evening, as was already mentioned, traveling from around the world, literally, to be here. That's really what makes it special, is that we can all share in this evening together. So, okay, to the wedding, and then we're going to get to Amy and Andres. So I'm wondering, just one last thing here, if anyone else or if everybody heard that sound right after the part of the marriage ceremony where Amy and Andres declared their vows to each other and Father Bravo pronounced them husband and wife. Did you hear that sound? That sound was the collective sigh of millions of people around the world as the reality set in that they will never see Amy or Andres on The Bachelor or Bachelorette. They're taken. So for those of you that don't know, The Bachelor and Bachelorette have been kind of a part of the must-see TV for these two for a while, so it's been fun. All right, we do need to talk about Amy for a minute, okay? Well, let's start with Amy. Did you really feel it was necessary to go to Australia to find a husband? That was one expensive date. You know, there are a lot of nice guys right here around us, you know, right here in Toledo, Boston, Morenci, but no, instead, no, you had to literally go halfway around the world to find a guy to suit your specifications. But I suppose in the end, that was one of the best investments you or we ever made. I'd say a few $1,000s for a good husband ain't bad. So. Good job. For those of you that don't know Amy real well, I do want to tell a few stories. You've heard some of them, but just about, Amy's goofiness and her, you know, she's special in her own special way. So while vacationing so here we go, a few stories. While vacationing at Pawleys Island once, I took our 3 oldest daughters, Amy was 6 years old at the time, to walk around the pier one day. However, when we got there, we were informed that it's a private pier, not open to the public. So upon trying to explain to the girls why we would not be allowed to go out on the pier, the fact that it was not for the public, Amy said, "But Dad, we're not public, we're Catholic." And in kindergarten, Amy wrote in a class assignment, "My best friends are Daniel, Jamie, Samantha, Caleb, and myself." Once again, this was just Amy being way ahead of everyone else and wise beyond her years. It was just simply her way of referring to Scripture, reminding us that in Matthew's Gospel, Jesus instructs us to love thy neighbor as thyself. But Amy's intellectual prowess was not limited exclusively to the theological disciplines, no. In fact, it extended far beyond to math and the natural sciences. One time, Lisa and I were away for a few days, and my parents were keeping the girls. And there was a thunderstorm. Amy, 5 years old at the time, asked Granny, "What is thunder?" So Granny tried to explain to her about storms and clouds, lightning, thunder, and so on. And finally, Amy just interrupts and says, "Oh, so it's kind of like the clouds are farting?" These are true. Once Amy had a couple more school stories. Once Amy had a math assignment in her early elementary school years, and that asked the student, "How did you answer this question?" They were looking for addition, multiplication, etc. Amy's answer, "With a pencil." Amy once, in 3rd grade, she brought home a school assignment and she had to use a map to answer various questions such as, "What is the capital of Ohio?" The final question asked, "What did you use to find the answers to these questions?" Again, looking for things like the key, the legend, the scale. Amy's answer, "My eyes and my mind." She's so cute. So tonight, this evening, if you ask Amy, tell us, how did you find Andres? She might just say, "With my eyes." Or she might say, "I didn't even know he was lost." Well, somehow you found each other. And I couldn't be more excited for the both of you. And I don't think it was just coincidence either. I think God brought you, the two of you, together. I know God did. And I thank God for that and your love for each other. So this is the only point along those lines in my toast where I'm going to offer any advice, and it's going to be extremely brief as well. I just said that I believe God brought the two of you together, and I believe that if you keep God at the center of your lives and your marriage, everything will be okay. It will. That doesn't mean it's always going to be easy. It doesn't mean that every day is going to be unicorns and rainbows. It won't be. But if you keep Christ at the center of it all, it will be okay, as he will continue to bless you and your life together. Now, just for a second, back to Amy. I'm not done yet. In case you thought those moments were isolated, and this is the final story, to Amy's toddler in grade school years, at a doctor's appointment when she was in high school, you're going to remember this one, she was filling out some forms, and when it asked if she played any sports, she answered basketball. The follow-up question to this, when the doctor entered the room, was, great, what position? And Amy's reply was, the bench, yes. Hey, it's important to understand where we fit on any team. That comes from experience. I know about the bench, believe me. And Amy has always known her role and how she can contribute, and she's always done it well. If you still want more, you can ask any of us around, I'm sure, or you just ask Amy about her fast buttons on her cross-country running shoes. That's always been a favorite, too. And Andres, can any one person own more tank tops? Sorry, let me clarify that. Can any one person own more Duke tank tops? I really thought Andres might show up at the altar with wearing one today. I wouldn't be surprised if he has one on under his tux, but I'm not going to ask us. Maybe just a Superman. Okay. This has all turned out pretty darn well, considering the fact that our introduction to Andres was this guy running across a campus lawn, vaulting over a rock wall, sprinting across 4 lanes of traffic, hopping in our van and shouting, "Let's go, we don't want to be late for our lunch reservation." Some of that story is true, not all of it, okay. But getting to know Andres has been an absolute treat and a joy. The first time we met him was during our spring break trip. And some of our girls were still in high school, so part of that excursion took us to Durham. And it just so happened that there was some big college basketball game on that night. So we found a great little sports bar where we could grab a bite to eat and watch the game. I'm not sure who was playing that night, but I think it might have been Coach K's Blue Devils versus Roy Williams' Little Sisters of the Poor. I never realized that a human being could make so many unusual sounds and contort themselves into so many different positions while eating dinner and watching a basketball game. In their chair, on the table, on the floor, from the ceiling. Most of that story is actually true. Andres has to be one of the best gift receivers ever. You'll see where I'm going with this. Lisa actually pointed this out to me this past Christmas. He was so excited about every gift he opened, and like genuinely and sincerely excited. I can remember him unwrapping a little $2 toy from Walmart for Chance. That's their little kitten. And he was so darn excited, you would have thought he had just opened an envelope containing a handwritten note from Zion Williamson inviting him to spend the weekend in New York City with backstage passes to both Dear Evan Hansen and Hamilton. But now I'm going to be serious again. You know what's beautiful about that? You always hear people say it shouldn't be about the gifts we receive, but the gifts we give, right? We've all heard that, and there's truth in that. But it is also about the gifts we receive and having a sincere sense of gratitude for the blessings, the gifts, if you will, in our lives. It is about having a thankful heart for the things that matter in our lives, the love of the people around us. And I see that in Andres. I see it in Amy, too. I see it all the time in the both of them. So my wish this evening, Amy and Andres, is that each of you continue to treasure that thankfulness in your heart. I pray that you may always have that wonder as you unwrap the present of each new day together. And Andres, I really hope that this Christmas you have something under the tree better than a little fake mouse that makes squeaky noises when you bat it across the room. Amy and Andres, we both love you so much, and we wish you all the best and many years of happiness, joy, and love. And so, will everyone please join me in raising a glass as we offer this toast to the bride and groom, to Amy and Andres, with all our love. Cheers.